weekend in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, congrats to all four of the other three teams that are here. All great, at this point in the season, everyone's a good team. Actually, I've played against Pitt once years ago, but we've never been to this facility, so we're excited for the opportunity to be here and play a very good in season Louisville team.
Obviously, you guys go 17 games, drop it 1-7. How do you guys take this over that time and just being how are you going?
I think this team has really done a good job of buying into little things. So, we might win a point, but did we execute within the point as well as we can? And I think they've understood the importance of every contact. So a ball needs to be on the net as compared to off the net. And they're just really competitive, driven young women that I think understand the value of every point.
I guess for all three of you, what's this facility like for you guys? It's pretty small, but how do you guys think about playing in it?
I don't think they've seen it yet.
But I've seen it on TV and stuff. It looks cool, so I'm excited. But I think tomorrow, especially, we're just going to bring on images. But yeah, it'll be fun. I think we've done a great job of that this year. So, yeah.
Coach, you talked about playing your style of volleyball. What is that style of volleyball, and how are you hoping to channel that tomorrow?
Well, I think just like Louisville, we feel like we're a pretty disciplined team. I think both teams are going to need to serve and pass well. Louisville's a great serving team. And so, those first contacts are going to be really important. And then, they've got hitters all over the place. So we're going to have to be disciplined defensively and then transition to attack. So, and then, we're going to have to be able to make plays all over the court. And again, being in system is going to be a key cog to making us successful offensively.
You guys had a big send-off yesterday and just a huge ovation from the Omaha and Creighton faithful. So what does it mean to finally be here and be about 24 hours away from first serve?
Yeah, definitely just like throughout the whole past week, like I felt the support from, the people in athletics, but just from the university as a whole. So we feel them behind us, even if they aren't like here physically. And I would just say like, we're so excited. Like every time we get closer, like, ooh, like, yeah, like you said, like we're about 24 hours away, like we're 12 hours away. We just keep counting that. So we're so excited.
How do you try to treat it like any other game? The stakes couldn't be higher, but just trying to stay level-headed and stay within that style of volleyball that you talked about, Coach. How do you guys do that?
Well, I think we just really lean on each other. I feel like we're all very confident right now because, we have a really close group this year and we all love each other so much. And I think we all trust each other so much and know that we're all going to do our job. And so I think that's really important to just lean on each other and play with confidence and just have fun. Like, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be back and forth. And that's exciting. It's fun. That's why we do it.
Coach, as a years one of the best players in the country, how do you plan to take care of a player like that as best you can? Or do you have a plan for that?
I hope we have a plan. Yeah, De Beers is stud, as are several other players on that team. So, I think in a scenario like that, it's not about shutting down a player. It's about not letting her take over the match. She's a kid that if something good doesn't happen to her, she's going to hit harder the next ball. She's a competitor, and we know that we're in for a dogfight specifically against her, but a lot of their players. So I think they're up for the task. We've played players like that throughout the year, so they've got to stay disciplined with how we're setting up and how we're going to defend those things. And she's going to get some kills. We just need to make sure she doesn't get killed over and over and over again.
Louisville has a pretty interesting service game. They like to take a lot of chances. They're all usually pretty successful. But how do you try and take, in terms of service game, how do you guys try to be a better team?
It's interesting in volleyball, a lot of times it's trends. And I think over the last year and a half, 2 years, the trend has been serve really, really aggressively behind the line. You're seeing this from a lot of teams around the country. I think it's following the men's game where they feel like, they got to take a risk to be able to have a chance to score behind the line. So you're seeing more women's teams do this. So we've faced this throughout the year. I think a lot of teams' philosophy is go back and take some risks behind the line. So I think we're mentally prepared, but execution is, going to be a challenge, but I think we're ready for it. Minnesota hung their hat on a similar mantra of getting after it behind the line. So we're going to have to pass well.
Kiana, Ava talked about how close-knit this group is. Do you feel the same way? And what have you learned about this team this year?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like just from the beginning of the season, like we talked about how obviously you'll have your closest friends, but we just all want to be best friends with everyone. I feel like we
kind of done a great job of that throughout the season and just feel like we have connections with everyone across the board. And I just feel like we learned like how resilient we are. Like even in the third set against Minnesota, we were down a little bit, but like we're like it's nothing we haven't seen before. Like let's just take it one point at a time and come back. So.
To coach, that third set was such a roller coaster against Minnesota, such a bundle of emotions. So does that help you when you're coming off that kind of a high? You have a couple days to process that now coming into this weekend.
I think anytime you're punched, it's good for you. So, resiliency, you can talk about it, but going through tough situations kind of builds that. And so that's another, kind of shot in our armor of being able to handle, a tough situation, being in a hole and being able to make plays in big moments. And, they stepped up and, hopefully that'll pay dividends down the road.
Obviously, you guys are from Nebraska, volleyball, just happened over there, but I mean, Pittsburgh's trying to be growing the game as well. How have you seen how important it is for a place like Pittsburgh to grow the game of volleyball, and how have you seen it grow the past few years?
Yeah, this is the exciting thing about volleyball around the country. It is booming, and particularly in this area of the country and the East Coast, we're seeing it continue to grow. I could riddle the stats at you, but the big one is more high school girls for a team sport are playing volleyball than any other sport in the country. So bringing it to places that are trying to build their volleyball base, you hope that the youth in the community come out and can see how great Pitt is, but also see all the other teams so that they can say, someday I want to be that person and play this sport. So, we are on fire as a sport right now. And the really fantastic thing is television starting to see it. I'm disappointed that we didn't have our first round matches, not Creighton specific, but nationally, that they were all on, none of them were on linear television. But pleased that these rounds are all in linear, and then obviously going to ABC for the championship final is a big move for our sport. So we're taking we're taking the steps forward. And again, the numbers are showing that people want to watch the sport.
Ava, what's been the biggest difference for you between last year trying to just get acclimated to the steps you've made?
Yeah, I think once again, it all goes back to confidence. I've really been working on kind of the little things Scoop was mentioning, like improving like my back row. So I think that's been really huge. Service receive also is another thing, is an outside to constantly target. So working on that, just expanding my shots. But yeah, I feel like confidence and kind of growing into a leader. And yeah, having fun.
Coach, what's kind of your brand of volleyball for somebody that hasn't seen you guys play yet, and it's going to be on national TV? What are they going to say after watching your group tomorrow?
I was in trouble answering this. It depends on the people that I talk to and what our brand is. I think we've got pretty good parity when we're in system. We can distribute the ball from all over the net. Generally, when we're good at first contacts, so that's going to be critical. And then we'll grind. We're resilient. I think if we're down in a tough situation, you're not going to see this team fold. They will grind and go after it and play to win.
We'll have one question here on the Zoom.
Hey, Kiana, this is Clayton here in Omaha. Just wanted to ask you, as a senior and all the work that you put in to make it this far, I mean, I know the journey's not over yet, but just, what does it mean for you to be here on this stage and be one of the last 16 teams left, out there in the tournament?
Yeah, I think it's really special. After our first round game, I was talking to some of the girls who were seniors my freshman year. When we lost to Minnesota, and they're like, come on, like when you go out there, like do it for us too. And one of my best friends graduated last year, so she didn't get like the opportunity to play in the Sweet 16. So I think it's like for this team now, but also like all the last years, like they've really built up the opportunity for us to be here. I think we all recognize that. So we're really grateful for like the past teams, and then also like this year just working hard. So.
And Coach, on that same note, just the belief that you've had in this group and some of these veterans, to make it to this point, and just how satisfying is it for you to see that payoff and to reach this stage?
Saturday it was really, really fun. I think our focus has moved forward at this point. So, now it's about preparing for a really good Louisville team, and so I haven't spent much time since Saturday night on satisfaction. It's about being ready to play great volleyball again on Thursday.
Coach Kendra, presumably be making her 100th start of her career. What has she meant to this team, being kind of a stabilizing force, and what does she bring to the table?
Yeah, I think what makes Kendra special is she can do it all. You know, she obviously everyone knows her as a setter, but she's a good blocker, good defensive player, a leader for the team, really cognitive, offensive, and so I think she's a threat in a lot of different ways. She's incredibly fast, so she can get her hands on balls that a lot of setters can't to keep up in system. And I think the players can recognize that they're given opportunities, particularly like a middle blocker or right side, are given opportunities that a lot of balls would have to be sent to the outside, and she can distribute all over the court.
All right.